Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a brand new French macaron recipe for you guys, and this one is going to be perfect for summertime. I'll be making my coconut key lime macarons, and these are just bursting with so much incredible tropical flavor. We're going to start with a coconut flavored macaron shell, fill the inside with a lime buttercream, and even add a little bit of homemade lime curd on the center. You have the zesty lime flavor and then the sweet coconut flavor, and when they come together, they're just like a match made in heaven. So delicious. Let me get started and show you just how easy these are to make. And I'm going to get things started today with my coconut macaron shells first. So into my mixer bowl, I'm going to add in 100 grams of egg whites. It's about 3 large eggs. Now this is one of the few recipes that I highly recommend using a kitchen scale because the ingredients need to be precisely measured. Otherwise it could be a total flop. So in go the egg whites into my mixer bowl. And into my egg whites, I'm going to add in 50 grams or a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm going to mix these two together on high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes until I get stiff peaks. And then once my egg whites have reached stiff peak stage, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of coconut extract. And I'm going to mix this for another 15 to 20 seconds. And now I'm going to switch gears and work on my dry ingredients. So into a sifter, I'm going to add in 120 grams of almond flour and 200 grams of confectioner's sugar. And it's super important that you sift your ingredients for macarons. I'm gonna just sift them into a large mixing bowl. I have my dry ingredients all ready to go, and I have my egg whites all ready to go. I'm gonna quickly show you guys the texture that you're going for. So you wanna whisk them just until they reach stiff peak stage. You don't wanna overmix or undermix these. Now we're gonna combine these two together. Just drop the egg whites right on top. And I am loving this coconut flavor. It just smells so good. And now it's time to mix and fold these two together. So what I like to do is just scoop from the bottom of the mixing bowl and kind of flatten the meringue against the sides of the mixing bowl. And you'll want to keep mixing and folding until you have a macaron batter that's reached lava stage. And I'll show you just what that is in a few minutes. And this batter is done and ready to be used. You don't want to overmix the batter. If you overmix it, it's going to be way too runny and then the cookies are going to turn out flat. But you also don't want to undermix it where the batter is too stiff and then the cookies are going to be a little bit lumpy. So practice makes perfect, and this looks really great. So let's transfer that into a pastry bag. And then for piping my macarons, I've prepared a pastry bag tipped with a simple round tip. Just going to place it into a measuring cup, and that's just going to hold it up for me while I transfer the batter in there. Just grab your bowl and pour it right in. And now it's time to pipe our macarons. So I've lined 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. I also placed a silicone mat underneath the parchment paper to keep the cookie bottoms from getting too dark. And then we're going to pipe a little dollops onto our parchment paper. And then once you have the macarons piped, you want to grab your pan and just tap it really hard against the work surface to release any trapped air bubbles. And I'm going to grab a toothpick and pop any air bubbles that kind of came to the surface. Get rid of those. And now my coconut macarons are ready to rest. I'm going to let them stand at room temperature for 1 hour until a thin shell forms on the outside. And then I'm going to bake them at 315 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18 to 19 minutes. Let them cool completely, and then we're going to add our lemon buttercream and our homemade lime curd. So for the lime curd, I'm actually going to be using my lemon curd recipe, just replacing the lemon juice with lime juice. And I'm also going to be using my lemon buttercream, replacing the lemon with the lime. I'm going to show you how to make that buttercream coming up. So let these rest, bake, cool, and then we'll fill them. My coconut macarons are cooling, and now I'm going to start on my lime buttercream. So I'm going to be using just half a cup of unsalted softened butter. I'm gonna grab my hand mixer and mix this for about 3 to 4 minutes until that butter is really light and fluffy. So I've beaten my butter and now I'm ready to add in my sugar. So I have 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. I'm going to add that in and then mix this for another 2 to 3 minutes until I have a really light and fluffy buttercream base, and then we'll start to add our flavors. So for my flavors, I'm going to be adding in half a teaspoon of lime extract. I'm also going to be adding in about 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid. I'm going to have a link to this product up on my website. I buy it on Amazon. It's what makes sour candies sour, and it's going to make this buttercream like extra zesty. It's gonna be so, so good. And then I'm also going to add the zest of 1 lime. This is going to add so much great like fresh lime flavor to the buttercream. And if you so desire, you can also add a little bit of green food coloring. Just a drop will go a long way. And mix in all the flavors for about 30 seconds. And now for the fun part, my macaron shells have cooled completely. I've paired them up by size, and then I've turned half of them over onto which we are going to pipe our fillings. So I've transferred my frosting into a bag, and today I'm using a star tip. This is number 823. It doesn't really matter which tip you use. We're going to pipe a little ring of that frosting around the edges. We're going to leave a little bit of room on the inside for some lime curd. These are going to be so, so good. And I'm going to fill each one with a little bit of lime curd in the center. Now, when I was making my lime curd last night, I added a little bit too much green food coloring. So be very careful when you add the food coloring. It's very strong. And then you could just gently sandwich them together. And that's it, guys, for my coconut key lime macarons. These turned out so incredibly beautiful. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down into that video description box. I'll have a link there that'll take you over to my website so you can print this recipe off and share it with your family and friends. I'm also going to include a video link there for my lemon curd and for my lemon buttercream if you want to watch some more details on how to make the buttercream. And now time to dig in and enjoy. Now typically when you make these at home, what I recommend doing is placing them into an airtight container and then into the refrigerator and let them mature in the fridge for about 2 to 3 days. And then when you're ready to eat them, just take them out and let them come up to room temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes. What happens is they become really soft and chewy. So when you first make them, the shell's gonna be like super, super crunchy. But when you let them mature, like this magical thing happens and they're just gonna be so, so much better. I'm gonna have one here that doesn't have a second half. I just love the color. And again, I added way too much green food coloring into the into the lime curd, but it still turned out really pretty. These macarons taste like summer. They're almost like a lime margarita with a little bit of coconut in there. So incredible. That buttercream is so zesty and lemony, and I love the addition of the lime curd in the center. It really adds so much incredible lime flavor. And then that coconut macaron shell is actually very lightly flavored, so you're not gonna have this overwhelming amount of coconut, but it's like the perfect amount, just the perfect amount of coconut in there. Combined with the lime, these are so perfect for summer. I know I'm gonna be making these every single year from now on. So delicious. Again, don't forget to head on down in the video description box for the full recipe. I hope you guys enjoy these little coconut lime cookies at home, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe. They're so good.